Predator in the corn. The shocking case of Sierah Joughin. On July 19, 2016, Sierah Joughin, a vibrant 20-year-old college student, went missing after an evening bike ride in rural Ohio. What began as a simple disappearance quickly escalated into a haunting case, capturing the nation's attention and ultimately revealing a chilling predator lurking in the cornfields. This video will delve into the shocking case of Sierah Joughin, examining the events leading up to her disappearance, the subsequent investigation, the disturbing revelations about her assailant, and the lasting impact of her tragic story on both her community and the United States at large. Sierah's disappearance. The fateful bike ride. On the evening of July 19, 2016, Sierah Joughin and her boyfriend, Josh Kolasinski, embarked on a leisurely bike ride through the picturesque rural countryside of Fulton County, Ohio. It was a warm summer night, and the young couple rode alongside the vast cornfields, enjoying the tranquility of their surroundings. As the sun began to set, they decided to part ways, with Sierah pedaling toward her home and Josh heading in the opposite direction. Little did they know that this would be the last time they would ever see each other. The disappearance. When Sierah failed to return home by nightfall, her family immediately knew something was amiss. They contacted the local authorities and a missing persons report was filed. Within hours, the small community of Metamora, Ohio, banded together in a desperate search for the missing girl. They scoured the area, searching cornfields, woods, and nearby waterways, hoping to find any trace of Sierah. Despite their exhaustive efforts, no leads emerged, and a sense of dread began to settle over the community. The investigation. Initial leads. As the search for Sierah continued, investigators pursued several leads. They were able to track her cell phone's last known location to a remote area near County Road 7, but the phone was found powered off and discarded in a field, offering little help. Sierah's abandoned bicycle was eventually discovered, but it only served to deepen the mystery. There were no signs of a struggle, no blood, and no obvious clues as to what had happened to the young woman. A break in the case. 3 days after Sierah's disappearance, a startling break in the case occurred when a local man named James Worley was taken into custody. Worley, a 57-year-old convicted kidnapper, had a suspicious encounter with authorities when they found him near the location of Sierah's last known cell phone signal. His behavior was erratic, and his story about why he was in the area seemed to change each time he was questioned. This, combined with his criminal history, made investigators suspicious, and they decided to look more closely into his background. The search of Worley's property. A search warrant was obtained for Worley's rural property, and what investigators found was nothing short of horrifying. Buried in a secret room underneath his barn, they discovered a makeshift dungeon filled with restraints, chains, a freezer, and various other instruments of torture. This chilling discovery seemed to confirm the worst fears about Sierah's fate, and the search for her intensified. The gruesome discovery and trial. Finding Sierah. On July 22, 2016, 6 days after Sierah disappeared, her body was discovered in a shallow grave in a cornfield, not far from Worley's property. The community was devastated by the news, and their grief quickly turned to anger. Sierah's family, friends, and the entire community demanded justice for the young woman whose life had been so brutally and senselessly taken. The trial. James Worley was charged with the kidnapping and murder of Sierah Joughin. The trial began in March 2018 and was closely followed by the media and the public. Prosecutors presented a mountain of evidence against Worley, including the chilling dungeon on his property, his inconsistent stories, and the fact that Sierah's blood and DNA were found on various items in his possession. Worley's defense team, however, argued that the evidence was circumstantial and that their client was not guilty. The verdict. After a tense and emotional trial, the jury returned with their verdict, guilty on all counts. James Worley was convicted of the kidnapping and murder of Sierah Joughin, as well as numerous other related charges. On April 18, 2018, Worley was sentenced to death for his crimes. The aftermath and legacy. The impact on the community. Sierah's tragic story shook her small, tight-knit community to its core. Residents of Metamora and the surrounding areas were left feeling vulnerable and frightened, knowing that a predator had been lurking among them for years. The case prompted many to question the effectiveness of the criminal justice system, as Worley had been previously convicted of abduction in 1990 but was released from prison after serving only 3 years of his sentence. Sierah's Law. In response to the tragedy, Ohio state legislators passed Sierah's Law, a bill aimed at better protecting communities from violent offenders. The law established a publicly accessible registry of individuals convicted of violent crimes, similar to existing sex offender registries. By providing this information to the public, Sierah's Law aimed to increase awareness and safety, helping to prevent future tragedies like the one that befell Sierah Joughin. Circa the legacy of Sierah Joughin. Despite the heart-wrenching pain of her loss, Sierah's family and friends worked tirelessly to ensure that her memory lived on. They established the Sierah Joughin Memorial Scholarship, which provides financial assistance to students pursuing higher education. Additionally, they organized the Ride to Remember, an annual bike ride held in Sierah's honor, which raises funds for various community initiatives and reminds participants of the importance of personal safety. Conclusion. The shocking case of Sierah Joughin serves as a haunting reminder of the darkness that can lurk in even the most idyllic of settings. Her story has left an indelible mark on the community and the nation as a whole, sparking a dialogue about the effectiveness of the criminal justice system and the need for increased public safety measures. Although nothing can bring Sierah back, her memory lives on through the actions of those who loved her and the legislation enacted in her name. In the face of such tragedy, Sierah's story has become a powerful force for change and a testament to the resilience of the human spirit.